Intermittent fasting has played a huge role to help me throughout my weight loss journey, but it wasn't until recently that I learned about the 5-2 fasting approach. So friends, in today's video, I want to share with you the following. Number 1, what the 5-2 fasting approach is. Number 2, explore some of the potential benefits in terms of health and weight loss. Number 3, put it to the test for 1 week and share with you my journey and results. So what is the 5-2 fasting method exactly? In a nutshell, you eat normally for 5 days of the week. Then on the other 2 days, you reduce calorie intake to about 500 calories per day. It's recommended, however, to split up the 2 fasting days and put 1 or more regular eating days in between. For example, you could decide to fast on Tuesday and Friday. Although there's no hard rule to what type or how much food you can consume on regular eating days, it would be wise to prioritize eating nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods to maximize weight loss. What are some of the claimed benefits? So before jumping into something that may be challenging, it's important to explore potential benefits to keep us motivated. So I took the liberty of looking up some potential benefits and want to share this with you now. Here are some health benefits from doing the 5-2 fasting approach from health.clevelandclinic.org. A boost in gut health, enhanced brain function, lower inflammation and joint pain, and improve how you respond to insulin, which helps prevent the progression of type 2 diabetes. Remember though that the quality of your diet will also have a huge impact on whether or not you see big results or positive benefits. Okay, it's time for me to be a guinea pig and try out the 5-2 fasting method. I will record what happens over the next 7 days and share both my journey and results with you. Woo! First up, let's talk diet. Now I'll show you some of the foods and drinks I had throughout this 7-day challenge. Regardless of whether it was a 500 calorie day or a normal eating day, I tried to implement what I like to call the big 3. It's a prioritization of 3 things which help me stay full and happy. N is for nutrition, P for protein, H, hydration. Now I'd like to give you some examples. Nutrition. This means focusing on minimally processed whole foods. Lots of vegetables like these shredded carrots and potatoes. And I tried to stay away from refined carbs such as white rice. There's this broccoli and chicken which was very delicious, and so on. For nutrition, I tried to find whole foods and grains. I found wheat bread and wheat noodles, but mostly ate potatoes. Okay, on to protein. This spicy tofu was so delicious and low calorie. Plus, it has some good protein. That was pretty much the goal throughout this challenge. Low calorie, high protein, and nutrient dense. Another example of getting protein in is after my basketball game, I would go and get this delicious chicken. On another occasion, I also took my kids out to eat the chicken too because they absolutely love it. It's very fresh, the oils all drip down, and you can see that you can add some spices if you like or just keep it plain. Nutritious, good protein, and delicious. So I tried to really focus on keeping my protein levels up with my food choices, such as this barbecue meat sandwich. It was so good. Okay, and the H for hydration. Of course, first up is water. I had this huge jug of water, which was a wonderful reminder to get enough water in throughout the day. I would also drink a cup of water right after waking up to help me feel full, and a big drink of water after each meal, again to help me feel satisfied and full. Up next is black coffee, which is basically a superpower that helps me with mood, digestion, hunger suppression, and energy. I understand that the taste of it takes time to get used to. Let me know in the comment section if you are a fan of black coffee or if you've tried it for weight loss. And another component of hydration is 0 sugar, 0 calorie drinks. My biggest go-tos throughout this challenge was the raspberry 0 sugar Coke. It is so delicious. It feels like a sweet treat, but it's also so rewarding to know that it's 0 calorie and 0 sugar. Then of course I had this regular 0 sugar Coke or Pepsi. So this big 3 of nutrition, protein, and hydration really is just prioritizing the quality of what I am consuming. I actually ate McDonald's a few times, but made healthy swaps too. I'll talk about that a little bit later in this video. I want to add in that the biggest difference between normal eating days and lower calorie days is the quantity. I still keep the big 3 prioritization, but just decrease the amount I consume on those lower calorie days. On to my exercises and activity. In total, I had 2 basketball games, which I'm sure really burned some calories. These games also wore me out quite a bit because I was running pretty much the entire games. So yes, I took an active recovery day after each basketball game day. My strength training went pretty well. It wasn't until the end of this challenge that I felt a bit of lack of energy, you could say, on one of my workouts, but overall it went very great. And I have a big 3 as well for my strength training. This is completely different than my big 3 prioritization for diet. Number 1 is focusing on form. This means letting go of the ego a bit and making sure I get that good form with a good range of motion and stretch as well. It does certainly take some humility by going at a low weight at first until I really get the form down and make sure I'm doing it correctly. Number 2 is intensity, which includes the speed of the movement and the control, especially on that eccentric coming down. I want to make sure it's not uncontrolled and not going too fast, just slowing it down a bit. And number 3 is mind-muscle connection. I found this helps me with form as well because I'm really dialing in on which muscle groups I want to feel the intensity, that burn, and that contraction. In total, friends, I lost 3.9 pounds. I started at 197.5 and ended at 193.6 pounds. Not too shabby, right? I actually lost more weight than doing the ADF or alternate day fasting challenge, but I think it really comes down to dialing in my nutrition and calories this time around. I'll touch on it more in a bit, but remember to not get hung up on weight when you see temporary spikes or rises. So how did my workouts go? Honestly, no complaints. For the most part, I had sufficient energy to get in great workouts, even on my lower restricted calorie days, which is totally awesome. And how were hunger and energy levels? We can see that in general, my hunger levels were much lower on the normal eating days, but those levels would increase on my low calorie days 2 and 6. I am happy though that my energy wasn't bad throughout most of this challenge. For that reason, I honestly feel that this dieting approach could be more sustainable than the ADF. That's my personal opinion. On to lessons moving forward that I want to take and share with you now. Number 1, don't get too fed up or stuck on weight. I was pretty butthurt when I saw that large increase in weight on the morning of day 6, but I just had to let those emotions come and go. Also with time, I was able to process it and realize that maybe I wasn't eating crazy unhealthy, but just eating in quantities that were too high, and I could still make a comeback. Also, it's important to keep in mind water weight. Sometimes that can fluctuate as well. So don't get too stuck on that. Focus on the quality and quantity of what you consume. As long as that is in check, you will definitely see an overall decrease on the scale. That was certainly the case for me throughout this challenge. Number 2, having sweets in moderation is okay. I found that it's not good to restrict anything 100%. And throughout this challenge, there were some times where I had a sweet treat. For example, after a basketball game, I had this pack of sour gummy worms. Plus, I saw a drop on the scale the next day, so that was cool. Number 3, healthy swaps are a lifesaver. I even went to McDonald's for a couple of times, but I swapped out the hash browns for the sausage links, the sugary drink for black coffee, and another time I replaced fries with corn and regular Coke with a 0 sugar Coke. Remember that you can still eat yummy foods and lose weight. I recently finished the ADF or alternate day fasting challenge, but overall I found this approach to be much more manageable. I mean, it's 2 restricted calorie days instead of 4. I've found that implementing the big 3 from earlier plus limiting calories will really help me reach my target weight faster and shred off that fat. I love fasting or these lower calorie days because it's almost like correcting days, but in a good way. It helps us remember the sacredness or importance of calories, gets us back on track, and definitely helps if I eat too much in the previous days. I hope you found this video to be insightful. If so, please drop a like and subscribe for more health experiments to come shortly.